JP's attempts at seducing Terry take a turn for the worse when Pinhead decides to speak and ruin the whole thing. She manages to knock JP out and tries to run off, but Pinhead, ever the opportunist, speaks to her. "Why run? Do you know where you are? You're at the door of dreams. At the base is the doggy door of dreams." He tempts her with the prospect of dreams, but only if she pulls JP's body closer. In the movie, it leads to an hilarious sequence where she tries and fails to pull him over closer before finally just kind of shoving him over with her legs. And all I can imagine is Pinhead going like, look, just, no, you're doing it wrong. For the love of... In the comic, it's just 2 panels and he's grabbed by his chains, and even including a callback to the first movie. "I have such sights to show you." Pinhead proceeds to take him on a world tour of exotic locales. The statue collapses, with apparently Pinhead just being surrounded by the stone and otherwise fully complete and assembled inside of it, like he's the secret Kinder Egg toy inside of the thing. Back to Joey, she has another dream, but this time she looks out her window and sees a man playing with the puzzle box, moving past him until she meets the man who is playing with the puzzle, Captain Elliot Spencer. He explains that her dreams of her father in another war allowed him to contact her. Captain Spencer was a soldier in World War I. After the war, having seen so much horror, while his compatriots found comfort in alcohol, he went in search of forbidden pleasures until he found the puzzle box. It transformed him into Pinhead, but Pinhead is more like a demon possessing him. It needs a human to act as its shell and prison. Monster as I was bound by laws. For one thing, I wasn't allowed to go to Mindy St. Clair's house without the proper paperwork. Hell has its commandments too. Thou shalt always take pictures of thy genitals and send them to people. Captain Spencer says the puzzle box is a way to bring him back to Hell, and he'll seek it out to make sure it can't be used against him. What's more, he can't just take the box, it needs to be given to him. Back at the boiler room, Pinhead emerges from the loft and begins sending out chains. In the comic, we don't actually see the massacre, and I'm of mixed feelings about that. In the movie, it gives us some good gore and the excellent shot of the blood slowly emerging from under the door as the screams fall silent. But on the other hand, the sequence has some ridiculous stuff, like the ice kill. When Joey heads out there, thanks to her unplugged TV displaying a news broadcast about it, we see the aftermath of it, which is kind of creepier than actually seeing it in action. Our imagination is always going to come up with a better sequence than what they can actually depict, and indeed, it looks like hell passed through the club. She had also called Doc for help, and he got there first. And was decapitated with his head replaced by a camera. I don't like this new origin for Arnim Zola. Pinhead appears to Joey. "There's a secret song at the center of the world, Joey, and its sound is like razors through flesh." It's a Maroon 5 song. I don't believe you! Okay, fine, it's a 303 song, but does anyone even remember them? Like, what does she even mean she doesn't believe him? She doesn't believe in his poetic dialogue about a secret song at the center of the world? Feels like dialogue is missing where he's making a different sort of claim. In any case, she says she's there to send him back to hell, and then runs away without trying to use the box. It'd be one thing if he, like, sent chains after her or something and she was fleeing that, but all he's doing is standing around pontificating. Anyway, yeah, she runs off, but is chased not by Pinhead himself, but his pseudo-Cenobites that he quickly constructed, starting with Doc, who just has a camera in his head that he uses to drill into the forehead of some bystander. You just know that this is how I'm gonna go out, murdered by my own camera and the footage uploaded to YouTube. Worst part is the algorithm still won't promote it. Next up is the dumbest of the pseudo-Cenobites, as I hinted at in the Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash The Nightmare Warriors comic. CD Head, or just CD as he's apparently officially known. He has CDs in his head, and a CD player in his chest with which he removes CDs and throws them like shurikens. So if this had been made like 5 or 10 years earlier, would this guy have cassette tapes in his head and cassettes in his chest that he launched out to kill people? Okay, I know I just technically described Soundwave, but Soundwave is actually cool. There's also Barbie, who despite the name is actually not related to the doll at all. It's because he used to be the bartender at the boiler room. He even gets to shoot fire out of his mouth and toss gasoline at people to ignite. Police soon arrive to try to stop them. and they all die. What's weird to me is that the cops are even summoned, considering in the movie the area is a friggin' ghost town. There's barely anyone around, and who we do see is killed before they can do anything. Joey flees into a church, where she explains to the minister that she needs to lead Pinhead into her apartment window, which... why? Spencer earlier said she had the ability to cross into other worlds, hence how she could communicate with him. That also didn't make sense given how he contacted her, but whatever. But why is it her apartment window that's so special for that? But yeah, this leads to the other memorable part of the movie in the church.
I am the way.
It's the perfect encapsulation of the misstep with Pinhead in this movie, laughing like an idiot and being over the top. In the comic, though, he says, "I am the way," twice for no particular reason, and while he still does some over-the-top gesturing, he doesn't start laughing, so it's a step up. From there, Joey flees into a construction site, where JP and Terry are now there, also turned into pseudo-Cenobites. I can dream now, Joey. Oh, you wouldn't believe what I can dream of now. Mostly dreams of me showing up to school in my underwear. Can you believe it? Joey finally figures out how to use the puzzle box, which sucks all the pseudo-Cenobites inside. So yeah, I guess the apartment window wasn't necessary at all. However, a vision suddenly hits Joey of her father finally getting to meet her. She thinks it's a reward for what she's done. But, of course, it's Pinhead in disguise, and she accidentally hands the puzzle box over to him. Before he can do anything more, though, Spencer shows up and merges with Pinhead. He says her father would be proud of her and disappears. In the movie, she instead has to stab him with a transformed puzzle box after the merging because Pinhead is still super evil for no reason. After all, wasn't the entire point of them having to merge again was that it was because he restrained Pinhead? And like the rest of the film, Pinhead dies in a ludicrous, over-the-top, and silly-looking way, sucked back into the box. And so our comic ends with Joey taking the puzzle box and dipping it into some wet cement at the construction site. And 2 years later, we see that the building that was under construction now has the box's sides plastered everywhere, which would lead into Hellraiser IV. A movie that everybody loves and certainly doesn't spend a third of its time in outer space. Although personally, I like it. This comic does not suck, actually. Yeah, I'm as surprised as you guys are. I wanted to do this one primarily because Hellraiser 3 is such a terrible movie in the franchise, but this is one of those very rare cases where the comic adaptation is better than the movie. Now don't get me wrong, it still contains some of the problems of the movie, some confusing or dumb plot points, the pseudo-Cenobites, and most especially not a particularly strong character arc for Joey. She just kind of stumbles into this plot and nothing is resolved about her. However, it also improves greatly upon many of the flaws of the film. JP is less of a smug dork like he is in the movie, coming across now more disinterested in the world, aside from some basic carnal pleasures that give him some brief satisfaction, which makes the idea of him siding with Pinhead more reasonable, craving the pleasures he offers. The artwork is darker and moodier, matching up better to the aesthetics of the first two movies, as opposed to the over-the-top, more cartoonish aspects of the film. Some of the dumber parts of the film have been pared down or given better expansions that help make them feel less head-scratching. This is by no means the Hellraiser 3 that fans would have wanted after how great the first two were, but it's certainly a step in the right direction towards it. Next time, although we'll see if there is a next time, Secret Origins Month begins. A Marvel-filled one. So how's that for a final review? Okay review, 6 out of 10. Oh, and I'm sure you would do so much better. Oh, indeed I shall. I'll continue doing the reviews, but things will change. Slowly, your reputation will go down the drain. They will come to know you as untethered, arrogant, mad. And then comes Comicron 1. With the power of that ship, I shall level cities, slaughter countless people, and I'll do it all in your name, Linkara. I'll say it's because they didn't watch me, didn't trust me, didn't give me the attention I craved. And all just to ruin how people see you. Oh, I won't stop there, of course. An interdimensional ship that allows me to cross over into any universe I want. I'll bring it back to my own reality and start all over again. I'll kill Dr. Insano, Poyo, any others who stood in my way. But the greatest satisfaction I'll have is knowing that in your own universe, your name will be spoken of with vitriol and rage. A curse to any who say it. That is my vengeance, Linkara! That is my... Why the hell are you laughing? 4 years. It's been 4 years on this Earth since we last saw each other. So? This is what you decided to do for 4 years, when you could have done anything else. You could have taken that ship back to your own universe, conquered somewhere else, but no! The only thing you want is revenge. Revenge, the most worthless of causes. You're obsessed with me because I had the gall to actually defend myself. It's amazing how you thought about nothing but me during all this time when I forgot you were even a thing. Look, dude, I hate to tell you this, but I'm never taking you to the prom. And it was actually longer for you, wasn't it? Like 10 years, right? I spend 10 years of my life living it. You want to know why I still have those posters up? Because they're a part of my past. They're a part of what made me who I am. I don't just pretend that the last 10 years didn't happen. I learn from both my mistakes and my triumphs to try to become better. You? You just become bitter and abusive. You let your past control you. You let it turn you into a monster. Everyone is a monster! Give people enough free reign and they'll always be like me. No, what you mean is that you would do that because people are good and decent and kind. You, however, are an asshole, and it pisses you off so much to see a world where you didn't become a jerkwad, because you can't accept that you're just a complete and total jackass. 10 years of fighting, of heartbreak, of bad comics and toxic people. This entire year has been spent looking back on all that. But while you would let it consume you, I just can't wait to see what the next 10 years will hold. 10 years? You're not going to have 10 minutes! I turn the agonizer on to full power and you're dead! How do you even think you'll stop me? Well, for one thing, you forgot about Nimue. No, I didn't. Eren Yes disabled her right before she took down Poyo. Yeah, the thing is, after Vice's corruption of her systems, we made sure that she had the ability to reroute herself a lot easier for her own protection. And the thing about Nimue is, she's a lot faster and a lot smarter than you. Emergency Procedure 2! Don't worry about me, you idiot! Stop him! Nimue!
Systems remotely hacked by intruder, attempting to reroute.
Reroute this, hellhead!
Damn, I'm still not at full power.
I still am, blue bot. Wait, no, I'm not. Why is the room spinning? Ceres, no!
Think you're fast enough in your current condition to put me down before I put a hole in your head?
I don't know, bud. But I bet either way, I'm gonna be the last one standing.
Forgive me, Linkara, but I decided to call in the cavalry after I got Poyo back up and running. Appreciated. Eren, yes!
We have to put her into stasis lock to preserve her core memory.
You blubbering imbecile, help me!
We have to save Ceres.
Stop nursing that useless pile of garbage!
What did you say?
I said, stop cradling your coffee maker and help your better!
Don't ever say that about Ceres. But, you lucky bastard, I should have done this years ago! Okay. She's in stasis lock and safe now.
Aaron, are you,
On your side? Yes. Yes, I think I am.
Oh, dude, did we miss the party already?
Yes, but it's probably for the best. It's getting kind of crowded in here.
I could use some help with her.
Here, I'll take her.
Listen, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything.
Yeah, well, today's full of regrets. Comes with anniversaries. Maybe we should focus a little more on forgiveness. Forgiveness? You are all pathetic! You all need to realize that the only thing that matters is looking out for yourself! And yet, you're the one here without any friends to back you up.
We'll rush the door.
We don't need to do that.
But he'll beam back to the ship! We need to stop him before he gets back to it!
I think there's very little risk of him escaping, frankly.
Why's that?
It's October. And we stay out of the supply room in October. One to transport! Execute! Execute! Execute? Don't mind if I do. Where are you? Show yourself! Your funeral's about to begin, sir.
Once Ceres is up and running, we'll access the ship we took here. I would like to keep it for myself. Honestly, I don't know how to run that thing.
Oh, cool, so I'm getting a Comicron 3 after all.
I'm sharing it, not giving the whole thing up, and certainly not letting you name it.
Personally, I don't see why we need to name a ship after anything. Ain't that right, Sierra?
I defer to your greater wisdom, Master.
What I've been thinking about is what my doppelganger said. You know, about the past and human nature and all that.
Yeah, I would hope that all this proved that he was full of it.
Oh, I know that, but given how I have yet another former enemy as a friend and all...
Technically, I was always your friend. Just in very weird and roundabout ways.
That maybe it's time, yet again, for a change.
Oh, no.
Well... it's been another 5 years, hasn't it?
Oh, no.
Excuse me, I don't mean to disturb you, but I need to use my closets. Do you mind? Thank you.
Yeah, just get comfy. It's gonna take a bit.
You know, a lot of people ask me what my favorite Lantern Corps color is. They assume that it's going to be red because of all the rage and anger and all that. But personally, I've always been more fond of hope myself. here's to the next 10 years. Well then, time to start again. I'm in pain seeing you needing other people. See? She's great. She doesn't need anybody to prop her up. She can do it all by herself.